Today's just going to be a fairly short video. This is an update from the old one where I was experimenting with copper sulfate and nickel sulfate to see which gave the best result for blackening pewter, or aka metallic tin. And there was something that rather embarrassingly I didn't check on first time round, which was whether or not they actually worked well in combination. And that has actually been my discovery, is that due to the ionic chemistry of these solutions, for whatever reason, they work better as a combination pair. There is actually quite an odd reaction goes on when you drop tin into the copper sulfate, is that essentially what happens is there is a surface reaction at the level of the at the very basic chemistry level. There is like a 1 atom thick layer of reaction between the copper sulfate and the tin, and that's actually a galvanic reaction because they're at different heights on the galvanic equivalence table. But what happens is you will start to get a reaction at the surface, but then after that you will simply get metallic copper precipitate placed on top of it. This isn't copper plating because of this barrier of, this little chemical barrier of oxides that's developed, but it's, well, basically it's very annoying. So these are some jewellery pieces that I've had. These have been in the sodium hydroxide overnight. Sodium hydroxide is the active component in soap. If you mix it with oil, such as, for example, if you spill some on your skin, it will turn your skin into soap. So it's actually extremely unpleasant stuff. It's the most dangerous stuff that I have in the workshop, and I don't particularly enjoy using it. So that's why I wanted my hands free to do both hands when I just swilled things out of the sodium hydroxide. But this is all you need to do to is just a 1-to-1 mix of nickel sulfate, copper sulfate, and pre-treat your jewellery in sodium hydroxide to strip off any surface oil or anything like that. Oh, this is where I've got the camera on it and it doesn't bloody work. So, those don't look obviously darker. They are very slightly darker. This might take a little while. We may end up pausing this video. Okay, let's see how we're doing now. Yeah, we're getting there. Definitely getting there. That's kind of a relief, because I was a little bit worried that this hadn't worked properly, but you can see that it's working its way in. So I'm just going to put that back. I'm going to switch off the camera for another 15 minutes or so and show it. I mean, that's been about 5 minutes, but give it another few. It's important to, it is actually important actually to swirl these around, because if they just settle on the bottom, where's the camera? Yeah, there we go. The bottom half of them will be protected from the solution, and so it won't actually cover evenly. So it's kind of good to take them in and out like this, even though it might seem like not a good idea. Okay, that's been another 10 minutes, well, actually 5 minutes or so. I'm laughing at myself because this was supposed to be a very, very quick video for me. This was supposed to be quick to get this out of the way, so I had something for my subscribers. You're making me feel guilty, people. You subscribe to me. Then I feel like I'm under an obligation to produce content. Right, so that one's fine. That one's nearly there. That one's halfway there. That one's halfway there. Oh, that one's 3/4 of the way there. And this one's halfway there. And you can just see there, just see some some red copper precipitate happening there. So these are being a bit of a pain. So yep, we're gonna turn the video off again for another few minutes. Still not there. This one is proving to be difficult. Polite words. Do not swear on camera. There we go, that one's another one. Good one. Yeah, just for whatever reason in the very center they're not... You can see incidentally now what I was talking about is this stuff comes off. This precipitate comes off really easily when you... here we go, and this one's finished again. See with this... do not run your fingernail over that. That was exactly like running your fingers down a chalkboard. It was horrible. But yeah, you can see the copper there, and I scraped some of it off quite easily with my fingernail. That will just come off in the barrel quite happily. These two need to go in. It's worth pointing out that this chemical reaction can go off in 30 seconds flat. It's now been more like sort of 20-25 minutes. When I cut this video together, I'm just going to put 5 minutes later, 5 minutes later, 5 minutes later. But as I say, this chemical reaction can happen in 30 seconds, and if it does, it will keep going. It will dissolve your pieces, and you will lose a lot of detail in the blackening process. So you can't just throw them in there, set your watch, and come back. You do have to keep an eye on them. Today is a warm day. This solution is warm. These things have been properly pre-cleaned. I don't know why some of as you can see, some of them are working and some of them aren't, but I'm going to go away for 20 minutes, and hopefully when I come back that will be the last cut. Oh good, the video's still recording. Well, that makes that easier. Just one last point is that important to rinse off every last bit of the solution, otherwise it will contaminate your polishing procedure. So give them a nice thorough rinse in hot water, and that is now definitely the end of the video.